Hello out there. We're on the air. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. What do we call this one? A special, sneaky Sunday show. What do we think about that? I love it. What a weird day today we've had here, especially. I don't know how many people are going to show up today. I didn't really post this or warn anybody or anything along those lines. So we're just going to hang out for about, I don't know, maybe an hour, probably an hour max, because it is supper time here. And I know that I'm going to get pretty hungry. We're going to set a new goal today on the Zap stream. What are we calling this one? Special, sneaky Sunday show. I see oh, not what we're looking for. I see a couple people rolling in. Dale's here. Good afternoon. Barely afternoon. We're nipping at Sunday evening here. This show is going to be in place of your regular scheduled NFL season. Anybody in the chat? I would be very interested to know. Oh, look who showed up. Fresh off his supper. How was it? Good? Looks good to me. Dale's here. He's driving across the flat, cold, barren prairies. That's a tough drive. I'm guessing where you're coming from and where you're going to, and that is not ideal for anybody. Oh, you know what we should do? We should check to see if we're on Fountain. See if the Fountains are still here. I'm going to check it out quickly myself. This is going to be a different show tonight, by the way, if you're here expecting the norm. It's going to be a bit of a different show tonight. Hey, we're live on Fountain. Look at that. Seems to be working great. Love that. Absolutely love that. Okay. What next here? What else am I doing here while we're hot? Who else we got here so far? People are showing up. The people are showing up on a Sunday evening. Look at that. Kev, nice subscriber count number. Wink. I got a funny story about that in just a sec. Jay. You know what? I even put a fresh hat on for everybody today. Fresh. I just took the sticker off like 2 minutes ago. This was deserving of a fresh hat, a fresh look for the evening tonight. Kind of like going to church. Kind of like getting dressed up for church. I wish you could wear hats in church. Although you probably could. Anyway, sorry, Jay's wife. You got to listen to me, but I mean, not the worst place to be. Santino, let's go. Riley Wayway says, can you please remind me about the security post you put up? Yes, we can talk about that in a sec. Okay, so we got 3 things to talk about so far based on some early feedback here. All right, we have what? No, that's the wrong notepad. You guys should see, if you could get a live glimpse into my office here, you'd be blown away by how many notebooks I have here. All right, so we need to talk about what? Subscribers. We need to talk about church. We need to talk about encryption. All right. So far, that's what we got on the agenda. We're making it up as we go. Our own trauma. What will be this week's trash? Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. It seems like there's a lot of funny business happening right now. We'll talk about that maybe too. So you know what? I said that this is going to be a different show tonight. So far, 5 minutes into it, where it looks like we're having a pretty normal show here right now. So what was the other one here? Oh, the crash. Yeah, paper Bitcoin. We are making the agenda up as we go. I see a couple people over in the Zap stream right now. So if you're there, say hello if you want to. I got a Caesar, by the way. Usually you either put pickles, celery, or pickled beans in there, but I didn't have time. I was already 7 minutes late. So I didn't want to make you guys and girls wait any longer. All right. Nimu says, namaste. Namaste to you as well. Let's have a good show tonight. So let's start with the first thing, which was the subscribers. So I put out a post today. I don't know if anybody here saw it or not. It was a good post. It was talking about the differences, measuring properly, measuring the world through the right lens, basically looking at how, if you measured it in dollars versus Bitcoin and how different it is. Having like an illusionary measuring stick and a real, verifiable, predictable, and accurate measurement stick makes a world of a difference. So anyways, I put out that video today because we were sitting at, I think when I posted the video, we were at 8,875 subscribers. And so I was like, no. I don't know when it was. Anyways, I made the video yesterday. We had like 40 less than that. But this afternoon, I was looking at it. So a whole bunch of comments there, subscriber count. I think it was at 8,884 at lunchtime. Went outside, did a couple tasks, including picking up about 100 pieces of frozen dog poop. And then a couple other things. Put out Lucky's new cat house. He's got probably a nicer house than we have here. But anyways, I came back in, looked at it, and YouTube, for some reason, I don't know what happened, but they took away about 12 subscribers by the time I went outside and came back in. So we started all over again. And I was kind of getting excited because I wanted to do a show tonight as we hit 8,888 subscribers on here. But YouTube really threw me for a loop today. So I don't know what happened there. But the one thing I would say there is that I'm pretty sure YouTube thought it was like a scam, some sort of a scam going on. Because, you know, we probably got 20 plus subscribers from that post this morning. But so it just seemed like they just started like ripping them away. So the one thing I would say is just if you were a subscriber to this channel before, like this morning or yesterday, just double check that you still are. If you're not, if you don't want to subscribe to the channel, that's okay. But if you were subscribing, if you had the notifications on to make sure you didn't miss any of the action here, then just make sure you're still subscribed. And on that note, why aren't you? Why aren't you subscribed? Drew, how about that BitBuy hack? Yes, 1.4 bill. Is that what it was? Wow. 1.4 bill. All right. I didn't know it was that much. I knew it was a bill, but I didn't know it was that much. Appreciate you, bro. Well, thank you. I'm going to be a little bit wired today, I think, for the show because I got a whiskey Caesar. Believe it or not, this is not Jameson. What's Conor McGregor's whiskey? Proper 12. So we're running on an empty stomach and whiskey. So I'm going to try to keep it to an hour max. Because I know once I get past an hour, it's going to go off the rails. It happened a couple weeks ago on a Friday. Pre-Monday show. That's exactly right. Hey, Logan, howdy from Texas. 1 degree on Thursday, 65 today. Holy, that sounds like here. Last week it was minus 40 some, minus 43 maybe. Today it was 0. So that's why I was outside so much today. We were picking up dog poop everywhere. Lots of dog poop. At least he kind of shits in the same spot, which is nice. But we figured we'd help him out a little bit. Oh, I got to add 3 names to this list. Okay, so that's number 1. Subscribers is done. Again, make sure if you were subscribed, make sure you still are. Because YouTube just decided they were going to take away about 10 or 15 subscribers this afternoon. And really sabotage the stream. Really sabotage the stream here. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to hit it on this stream today. I got a feeling. We got 50 minutes. And if not, it's not the end of the world. I'm still going to do the giveaway for the show. We had 67 comments on the video today. 67 entries. And I see 3 more here that I got to add. So 70. It's pretty impressive. And the winner of that contest is going to get 8,888 sats from me. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Next thing on the agenda here was church. All right, let me get things under control here a little bit. I want to share this to nostr too, because I'm sure there's people out there on nostr that are bored right now, I would guess. Hey, we're live. Hey, we're live. We are live. Good enough. Michael says, if they roll the chain back, it would be spun as a benefit of ETH, because to the ignorant, it would look like the good guys can always get their money back. Yes, we'll talk about that, actually. We'll talk about proof of work. Proof of work. Sunny Jim. Bitcoin. Look at this, Santino, $10. Look at that. Thank you. I tried to be clever and send $8.88, but it doesn't let me. This will have to do. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. At least you rounded up there. That's very nice of you, because it would have been probably 5 or 10. So thank you for that, Santino. That is very generous of you. And by the way, we do have Arnie's wallet right here. So it's magic. You scan that QR code, you send a couple sats, any amount, and this screen lights up green. And make sure to leave a message too if you're zapping. Wendy, cheers. Hi from the UK. It's got to be pretty late there right now. It's supper time here. Wendy's having a late Sunday night in the UK. All right, I see Zapstream's filling up a little bit after the post. And John, hi from Toronto. Awesome. Welcome, John. It's great to have you here, my friend. Okay, next on the agenda is church. So I was thinking about this the other day. We got a really exciting course coming out here on the channel. And it's going to be exclusive for Living in the Future members. And we're going to be doing it every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. I'm going to talk about this later on in the show today too. But it's going to be mostly focused on proof of work. I think I'm going to call it proof of work. And I'll explain why in a bit, but it's going to be very much focused around building your own brand, building your own business online, or building your own business in your local community, but mostly just getting away from the 9-to-5 rat race. Because I really believe that you could have as much Bitcoin as you wanted to, but if you're still going to work for somebody else, you are not a sovereign individual. So it's going to be a focus here for, I was going to do 8 weeks, but I honestly think it's going to turn into like 6 months or more. So we get a lot of different content. I'm kind of in the process of doing the agenda, but at the same time, I think I'm going to keep it very exploratory in the sense that I'm going to have kind of an idea of where we want to go, but it could lead anywhere. And it's going to be very reliant on feedback and new things that come up. And it's going to be awesome. I'm very excited for that. But anyways, I was thinking about it. And I was actually watching Gary Cardone's. He's been doing like a Sunday church, he calls it, every Sunday morning. And I've gotten a lot out of it, actually. I very much enjoyed it. I think he's done like 20 shows now. But anyways, he calls it church. And I was thinking about that myself. And, you know, having a channel, you're doing a live show every day. I think the easiest comparison there would be like a teacher. And I've never really thought of myself as a teacher at all. Never had any aspiration to be a teacher. I coached hockey for a couple years. I really enjoyed that. But I very much look at this more as church. And before we go any further, like I don't think I'm like a pastor or anything like that. But I think the idea of church makes a lot more sense. Who the hell is this? Oh, it's a side by side. I saw some lights coming down the road. Anyways, I think that this is very much more aligned like a church because the reason I thought that is because, you know, we show up here every day, different than every week, but it might turn into like a weekly show. Who knows? If I ever get tired of doing it every day. But we show up, we talk about different things. I'm not really preaching about anything. We're just talking about things. We're going back and forth, interacting. And the nice thing about it, I was thinking about church and like, if you ever been to a church before, the main funding of a church is from the people. Like a donation plate, a collection plate goes around, gets passed around. You put in $5, you put in $10, you put in $50, $100, and that's how it's funded. And I think that that's very similar to this, like between Arnie's wallet, between the Zap stream, between people joining the channel and joining the community. That's what's funding it. Imagine if you went to church and there was like, this sermon is brought to you by Coke Fertilizer, or this sermon is brought to you by Piston Ring. Like, it just wouldn't have the same kind of feel to it. And that's kind of where I want to go with this, is mostly just like community funded. The collection plate gets passed around. You put a couple sats in there if you have. If not, you can still go to church. There's not like an entry fee. But I just kind of had that realization today when I was thinking about it. So I'm going to start kind of framing things in that sense. Instead of like seeking out sponsors, I wanted it just to be more of like a church feel here without all the religion and shit like that. So I just want to share that and get it off my chest, because I think that's, I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Am I crazy? I don't know who this is over on Zapstream. Said, what? Hold on. Zapstream's kind of laggy right now. It's probably working good on Fountain, which I like, but the Zapstream itself has been pretty laggy. Crypto said, would you ever stream 24 hours straight? Crypto Farmer, I feel like I've gotten a couple disagreements with you on nostr. I actually thought you were just a bot. Anyways, would I stream for 24 hours straight? No chance. This isn't a telethon. Bob Ross is AK-47, Cap Purse Boy. Vitalik is Low T Soy Boy, 100%. All you need to know about Ethereum is their founder. Just take a look at him. All you need to do is watch like a 10-second clip of Vitalik, and that's who you're investing in. Buck 52. I was thinking about you the other day. We got to get another call set up here for your stuff. Tom, looking forward to the new series. Very interested in that. That's good. Dale says, learn about Bitcoin before you have to. Great advice. Praise God for Bitcoin. That is, I would agree with that. I think there's something very spiritual about Bitcoin. I think if you took a random survey of every person who like not owns Bitcoin, because there's a lot of people who own Bitcoin for the wrong reasons, I think. Not wrong reasons, but different reason than me, we'll say, which is wrong to me. But yes, I do think that there is, if you took a survey of everybody who understands Bitcoin, I think that probably at least 80% of people would be followers of like God or something along those lines. You know, you can really tell. It's not so much about, to me anyways, and I don't want to get religious here at all. This show has never gotten religious, but there's a difference to me between good and evil. And so what I'm trying to say, there's 80% of people would be aligned with like good. That's kind of how I feel, at least 80%. And if you took the same survey with fiat and the people who are rich in fiat and how they obtain that wealth, it would probably be 20% and 80% in evil. So John says, I recently went on vacation, decided to buy the fiat dollar value of my vacation and Bitcoin back in the fall. It's like I went on vacation for free. Oh, I love doing that. I absolutely love doing that. I do that with everything now, especially right now, especially in this point in the cycle. It's exactly what I did with my tires. I knew that I needed new tires this winter. And so last winter, I bought the amount of like $1,000 worth of Bitcoin instead of buying tires. I just kind of, probably a little bit risky there and not safe, but I stuck it out. I think I only had one flat tire. But yeah, when I went to buy the tires, it was like I got them for free. It's a good way to do things, honestly. And if you can think further out even than that, even than 1 year, you'll get it even more than that. Jay says, let's fucking grow. Yes, sir. Ricky Bobby, if I DCA into Coinbase, then one transfer out of all Bitcoin, how many UTXOs will I have in my cold wallet? That's a great question. It's an important one to understand, and I've actually received quite a few questions very, very similar to this lately. So here's what you need to know. Anytime you send Bitcoin on layer one, doesn't matter. It could be coming from an exchange. It could be going to a friend. It could be a consolidation transaction. Anytime you send a transaction on layer 1 Bitcoin, it creates one new UTXO wherever you're going. So if you sent it to your friend, whatever you sent would be one UTXO. If you sent it to yourself, consolidating, you create one new UTXO. If you send it from the exchange to your wallet, you create one new UTXO. But every time you buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, if you're able to keep it at Coinbase, that does not create a new UTXO, because that's not what is happening behind the scenes at Coinbase. When you buy Coinbase, you buy Bitcoin from Coinbase, it's essentially just going into a big slush fund for Coinbase. They got dollars, they got some Bitcoin. They don't move it around on layer 1. They just basically take your dollars in and say that you have Bitcoin. That's why there's been so many issues with exchanges going down, because they might not actually have the Bitcoin that they claim to have. Similar to that. So every time you send the exchange money, even though you buy Bitcoin on the exchange, that's not actually a layer 1 transaction. That's just a big slush fund that Coinbase has. So every time you send money to Coinbase and you buy Bitcoin, it's not creating a layer 1 transaction. It's just going into the big Coinbase slush fund. Then when you withdraw it from Coinbase, that's when they have to send it to you. That's when it creates a layer 1 transaction. So that's what you need to know. Every time you're thinking about UTXOs, is every time you send it on layer 1, the recipient, all the Bitcoin you sent, creates one UTXO. So I hope that makes sense, Ricky Bobby. Use a block explorer on your own node and see for yourself. Yes, true. That's a good point, because if you, because Coinbase wouldn't send you like a transaction ID with your purchase. Again, it just goes into a slush fund. Marshall, hey, Jor, happy Friday. Hey, Marshall. One of my favorite guys, Marshall. Very, very impressive young lad, I would say. Yes, you're buying paper/IOU Bitcoin. Exactly. That's exactly right. Bitcoin Core and Sparrow. Yes, good advice. All right, that helps. Good. All right, so we actually had another comment here before we get to the big giveaway tonight. Where was it? Riley from Riley Wayway. Paper Bitcoin. All right, we got 2 check marks down. So Riley says, can you please remind me about the security post you put up regarding encryption of keys? I don't know how to remind you about it, but I can give you a little bit of information on it. And I would say that ever since that post and a few other videos I shared, I think there's 7 or 8 emails sitting in my inbox right now that I haven't responded to yet. So if that's you, if you're one of those people who sent me an email and I haven't responded yet, it's on the agenda for tonight or tomorrow. So basically, again, if anybody watching the show now or later wants more information on encryption, Superback, I would say the most secure way by far to protect your Bitcoin, just shoot me an email and just put Superback in the title in caps, big letters, Superback. And I'll send you an email. I'll send you basically what you're going to have to do is you're just going to have to get a Signal app. That's the only way that we do communications about Superback and privacy and security, because it is very private. And the guy who I work with, Craig, he's a privacy and security expert. So he's not using Google Meet. I'll send you a link to Signal to download it. If you already have it, you can just shoot me a message on there. I'll create a group chat with you, Craig, and I, and we'll set up a time to discuss within Signal. So I don't know exactly if that was the answer you were looking for or not, but basically what Superback is designed to do is it replaces your paper 12 words, your 12 or 24 words. It replaces the paper or the steel. That's essentially what Superback does. It encrypts that instead of leaving it around in plain text. Because I'll give you a reason why I'm so fascinated by this thing. So what I did actually for the first, let's say 2 or 3 years of my Bitcoin journey is I would have something like this. I didn't have the Q at that time because it didn't exist, but like a hardware wallet. So a cold card, a Jade, a passport, a hardware wallet. And I would keep this. I set it up. I derived the key from this. Very, very safe, very secure, offline. And then I kept it in my safe, which is good. I mean, that's good practice, right? Keep it in the safe or keep it somewhere in your house that you trustworthy spot. But the problem is that I left my 12 words right underneath that on paper and then steel. So the problem with that is this device is very, very secure, right? It's offline. You need to pin, even if somebody found this thing in your house, they couldn't really do anything with it because they need your pin. But then you leave your 12 words on paper, or you leave your 12 words on steel somewhere else in the house, or in my case, right underneath this thing. And then if somebody came across it, they now have your Bitcoin. They didn't have to do anything with this. You went through all this trouble for nothing because you left your 12 words on paper or steel in your house. And that's a problem because it's in plain text. If somebody finds that, they now have your Bitcoin. No matter how secure you've been, no matter how good your device is, you leave your 12 words or 24 words on paper or steel. If somebody comes across that, they don't need a pin. They don't need to hack it. They literally just take your 12 or 24 words and type it into a computer, and they now have your Bitcoin. So essentially what Superback does is it encrypts that. It encrypts your 12 or 24 words plus the metadata needed to do that, which is like your master fingerprint, your derivation path, a few more things that you need to be backing up there, your PIN code, maybe a passphrase. And it's not specific to Bitcoin either, which is the beautiful thing about it. You can back up anything of importance on there. So that's kind of the service that we offer now. And it's going to be available to anybody, like the general public, because banks are starting to use Superback. The Royal Bank of Canada is actually going to be using Superback, I think in 2020, late 2025 or 2026. So everybody's going to have access to it. But the problem with that is that it's fully KYC. Whenever you're dealing with a bank, you're going to have to give them all your information. They're going to know how much Bitcoin you have. So it seems like a good service, I think. But the problem is it's going to be fully KYC, and it's probably going to be, I don't know, 10x as expensive, maybe even more than that. But let me find, I actually, somebody asked about it on nostr, and where is it? Hold on. I gave a pretty good answer here, so maybe I'll just read that to save us some time here. It was a girl, I believe, or a woman. Where is it? Shit. Oh, it was on YouTube. That's why. It was on YouTube, not nostr. Hold on, just give me a sec. Oh, now I'm gonna have to go through 60 comments. So, okay, just give me like 5 seconds here. Here it is. All right. Read more. There we go. So there was a comment on YouTube about it, and the question was, "Hi, Jor, what does your collaborative custody entail? Does this include the cold storage and help with that?" Which is a great question. And so this was my response. I said, "Hi, Tracy, we basically use what you have currently to start. And if you need help with cold storage, we can start with that as well. From there, we walk you through the setup of the security protocol aspect of it. This includes encryption of your recovery phrase, your PIN, and other metadata needed to back up. After the security is done, we set up the inheritance side of things. This includes a will and potentially a trust. We won't do these, but we help you through the process. It also includes a biannual health check for your security. We also use this time to help train and familiarize your family members on the call in case anything unexpected ever happened to you. And we are a fraction of the cost of our competitors. And the best part is that it's fully non-KYC, and we have no idea what you're storing or how much Bitcoin you have. The main drawback, it's not as easy. But things should not be easy when you're dealing with the greatest asset in history. So again, we've done probably 30 calls so far. There's about 10 more people who are in my email right now looking for more info. So this isn't really a sale pitch because we're probably busier than we want to be. There's only 2 of us right now. But it is definitely something for everybody here to start thinking about. And it isn't easy, but it's definitely not difficult, especially when you have a guy like Craig on your team. And honestly, it's about $2,000 for the service, and you get a lifetime membership for the rest of your life, plus beyond that. And I think there's a lot of people out there who, if they knew Craig, they'd probably pay $2,000 just to have him on their team, essentially. So it's him and I. And we'll probably be adding some team members here in the near future. So Crypto Farmer says, having words on a steel plate in the future will be seen as primitive. Primitive. Is that like archaic? Because I do agree with that. I think that that's the biggest lie told in Bitcoin right now. And not that steel's bad. I think that steel's a really good place to start. It's much better than having your 12 words on paper. It's kind of like the in-between. So what I would say anybody out there right now is, if you have your words on paper right now, make the jump to steel. That's kind of your first step. Just in case anything were to happen to your house. It's still not great, but it's still better than paper. From there, that's when you start thinking about multi-sig. That's when you start thinking about encryption. But steel plate is a pretty good place to start. It's just not the end goal. It's not the end. It's not where you want to keep all your wealth. Again, because if somebody comes across that steel plate, your Bitcoin is literally written in 12 or 24 words in plain text. So it's a good start, but it's not the best. And whenever you're dealing with Bitcoin, again, the greatest asset in human history, you don't want to settle for anything less than the best. Superback is a game changer in this space. I agree. I really believe that. And the only thing holding it back right now, I would say, is awareness. It's just that nobody knows, how bad paper and steel can be in the wrong use, but that something like this exists. So it's really cool. And basically how it works, because you might be thinking like, well, there's no way I'm putting my 12 words into a computer, because that's one of the first things we're taught, right? Keep it offline, which this is offline, because what we do, part of the setup is that you get a laptop, you take out the hard drive, you put in a very secure USB, and that's what runs the software. And the USB is read-only. It doesn't write any information there. So your hard drive's out, your USB is read-only. You run the software, you do it all, and it's completely disconnected from the internet. So I would argue myself, and Craig says the same thing, that this is actually more secure than like a hardware device from a manufacturer. So that's that. Jay says, Joral, I let my account manager over at Unchained know about it. Next time him and I have a call, I'll ask him for his feedback. That a boy. Yeah, see what he says. I'd be interested, because I think it's going to be an actual, that'll probably be like asking a financial advisor about Bitcoin. Because Unchained, CASA, there's a couple other ones too. This is going to be in direct competition with them. And the nice thing about this for the user out there is it's going to be a fraction of the cost. We don't take a percentage of your Bitcoin, and it's fully non-KYC. So if you're using Unchained, if you're using CASA, they know how much Bitcoin you have. And some of them claim to be non-KYC, but they're actually not non-KYC. And I don't want to shit on them. Again, that's the option for people who have like a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of money. They don't care how much they're paying in fees, and they just want it to be easy. So they'll never disappear. Like there's always going to be a high demand for places like Unchained and CASA. But this is like kind of a do-it-yourself. It takes more work, but it's, again, a fraction of the cost. I think we should probably increase our prices. And it's all and the best part is that it's non-KYC. So we don't know how much Bitcoin you have. We don't hold a key to it. We do semi or biannual health checks with you to make sure that everything's still good in your security, if there's anything we can do to improve it, and to familiarize your family with how to restore it if something were to unexpectedly happen to you. So to me, I mean, yes, I'm biased, but it's a far superior option if you're willing to put in a little bit of work. Jay says, I watched an episode of Pimp My Ride. Wow. The other night, and it got me to put my stuff inside of a fireproof. And it got me to put my stuff inside a fireproof safe, inside my fireproof safe. Crypto Farmer says, what if you lose a device? That's a great question, actually. So essentially what happens here is when you set this up, you're going to need a copy of their software. And the software is completely, it's not open source, but it's viewable. So again, they're going to be going to RBC. They're going to be going to lawyers and notaries in Canada and the US. So the code itself is viewable. And you can download the software from GitHub. So that's one copy. If something were to happen to your laptop, you could always get the copy that you originally set it up with. You never have to update it. Once you set it up, that's your software. It doesn't require like an annual update or anything like that. You're going to have a copy on like a DVD. I'm going to have a copy. Craig's going to have a copy. And again, banks, notaries, lawyers are all going to have Superback. So you'll have to pay more. You'll have to probably give away some of your identity if you don't do it properly. But again, you can download it from the internet. If you were to lose your device, you just get a new device, you take out the hard drive, you get your USB, you download the software onto it, and then you're good to go. You can restore it. So it'll live, this software that you download and your paper copies will live longer than me, longer than Craig, longer than you, and everybody. So that's the beauty about it, is that acid-free paper actually lasts 100 years, obviously without fire, but like in a normal, good condition without being burnt, it'll last 100 years, which is what you want. And this is very, very true words from Dale here. When security goes up, convenience goes down. Convenience goes up, security goes down. Exactly. So again, this isn't for everybody. It's not for everybody, but it's for people who value their privacy. It's for people who don't want to pay a percentage of their Bitcoin every year to somebody else, or like $2,000 a year for that service. And people who are willing to do a little bit of work. You're kind of taking everything responsibility of your assets, which is pretty much very in line with Bitcoin itself. Jay says, if my two Unchained wallets tied to my RRAs, I'd move both wallets to Superback. But for multi-sig, self-custody RRA, Bitcoin in the US, Unchained is away. Yep. That's what I mean. Like, this isn't never going to replace. Like, Unchained is going to be, I foresee Unchained being around for a lot of years because of situations like this. Because there's a lot of people out there with a lot of money who can afford those fees and don't really understand the privacy implications of what they're doing. But it's okay. I get it. I get it. So it's not for everybody, but it is for, I think, a lot of people who watch this channel. So again, if you want to learn more, if you just want to set up a call with Craig and I, we don't charge anything. It's about a half an hour call. And just ask some questions. Think about it. I think I gave you a decent sales pitch there for it. But as Craig has said numerous times, there's zero pressure. Zero pressure, because I know we're going to be busy for the next a while. And we never, ever want to force anybody to do anything. So that's not it's not how we roll. Pop. Look at that, Pop. Look at that good boy. Somebody said hi. You want to say hi back? Give him a woof. Woof, woof here, woof, woof there. Here, a woof, there, a woof, everywhere, a woof, woof. All right, well, we got our first, Arnie will be happy about this. Somebody broke our cherry tonight, popped our cherry. We got 888 sats to Arnie's wallet, anonymous. So thank you for that. Again, if you want to send the collection plates going around, if you want to send some to Arnie's wallet here, send 1 sat, 5 sats, 5,000 sats. The screen will light up, and make sure to leave a nice message or a question or something. Oh, Jay says, I don't believe I have that email. jor@bitcoincitadel.net. That's my new email, actually. RZ Cowboy says, sorry, Jay, I took that off too early. jor@bitcoincitadel.net. And I guess on that note, Bitcoin Citadel is going to be our new venture as well. If you're not quite there yet, if you just need help with like hardware device setup, if you want help with your Bitcoin strategy, UTXO management, private key management, running a node, multi-sig, that's Bitcoin Citadel. We got 6 amazing people on that team. RZ Cowboy says, what do you think Bitcoin will average return in the next 10 or 10 years? 25, 30%? I think it's going to be much higher than that. I'm predicting about over the next 10 years average. I think it's going to be, I don't know, higher than that. But the one thing I would say after 10 years is that it'll probably start decreasing from there. Not like you're not going to be losing, but it's not going to be like 60% like it is now. I think it's actually going to be higher than 60% for the next decade. And then it's going to drop down to like, I don't know, 20, 30 maybe at that point. But you have to remember that like 99% of the population still has to show up to this asset. All the companies, all the corporations on the planet still have to add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Every country, every state, every town, every city, every municipality, they need to add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Every AI agent that people are creating today is going to want Bitcoin. So do as you wish with that. I will say, Jay, I just got your email. Making sure I have this email, which I think I may have. We got it. We got it. We're live on the emails here too. All right. Let's what's next here on the agenda? Oh, we got another zap here. Thank you. What's this one? 1,111 from Tony. I think that might be Tony's first zap. I don't remember Tony. And if you sent before, I'm sorry. But anyways, thank you. Very much appreciated, especially for a Sunday show. We're working overtime here. That was the thing. And that's kind of maybe the next thing we'll talk about here is proof of work. I was thinking about it today. I was getting ready to do the show. I had just been demolished. My spirit had been demolished by YouTube. And I was like, you know what? It would be very easy right now on a Sunday night just to make some food, hit the couch, eat some chips, watch some TV, take it easy. That was the easy. Oh my God. YouTube did it again. I think. Yeah, YouTube did it again on me. We might never hit this. That's insane. I've never seen that happen before. So we were at 8884 before the show, and we're at 8878 right now. So YouTube took away 6 subscribers since we started this stream today. That's actually pretty fucked. Oh well, who cares? That's the thing. I just wanted to kind of celebrate it because it was a big number, big milestone. But at the same time, who gives a shit? I really don't. I have zero intention of ever being like a mainstream Bitcoin channel. It's just not what that's not what I'm here for. It's not what I value here. It's much more important to have like 1,000 true fans than 100,000 people who just like pressed a button. I would much rather have 1,000 people who actually value my time and what I talk about than have 100,000 subscribers. I know this channel will never be like a mainstream channel because of the stuff I talk about and because I swear a lot too. So, moral of the story, who gives a shit? YouTube can take away subs. Well, they took away about 15 this afternoon, 12 or 15, I forget what it was, and they just took away 6 since we started the stream here. I don't know what happens. To me, I don't think that anybody would like go to my channel while I'm live and just like decide to unsubscribe on a Sunday night. It just did, or a Sunday afternoon. It doesn't make any sense to me. So what I think happened was because I posted that video today and I like we had a contest on there. There were 70 comments on there for people who were entering the contest. I think YouTube thought that I was like doing a scam or something. Like I was trying to trick people to subscribe to my channel. So I think that that's why, because it's never happened before like this. And I've never really done a contest like that before on YouTube either. So I guess lesson learned. I was trying to be a nice guy, but Buck52 says, kind of funny all the negative press crypto in general has had recently. Seems like the big players are trying to scare us. 100%. Yep. Because you have to keep in mind here, you have to understand what's happening right now, is that all of this big capital in the world is doing everything that they can to buy Bitcoin. Everything that they can. And you see that with MicroStrategy. Why are people paying a 2 or 3x premium on MicroStrategy? Because it's the only way that they can have exposure to Bitcoin. Why are people paying 2 or 3x multiplier on Metaplanet? Because it's the only way they can get exposure to Bitcoin. Plus, right now, as it stands today, individuals, us, hold 70% of the Bitcoin. And there's only less than 5% of the Bitcoin to be mined in the next 110 years, 115 years. So in other words, since there's only 5% of the Bitcoin left to be mined, which I think is all going to flow to these big entities like governments, public companies, that's pretty much gone. You know, solo miners might hit the odd block, but for the most part, that 5% is flowing to the bad guys. So they're going to have to get the Bitcoin from us. It's the only way. So they're going to have different strategies. And one of them is absolutely to, you know, throw out FUD like they're doing right now. Another one is going to be run up the price and try to get people to sell. Another one is going to be get rid of capital gains. So Bitcoiners are more likely to sell and part with their Bitcoin. But that's the only thing that they can do because they can't print Bitcoin. They can mine it. And again, 5% I think is all going to flow to them over the next 110 years, maybe like 4.9%. But every other Bitcoin that they want to get is going to have to come from us. So they're going to try all this bullshit. They've been doing it for the last 10 years. But I think they realize that they're running out of runway here. Plus, with the Ethereum hack, there was the Ethereum hack yesterday, which was hilarious. I don't know the ins and outs of that one. What I gathered from it was that a hacker in North Korea, or like the North Korean government, somehow managed to do it. I don't know. That's what I saw. I haven't dove into it yet. But the hilarious thing is that the Ethereum Foundation actually wanted to do a rollback of the Ethereum chain, hard fork it, so that all of those Ethereum that were hacked, they wouldn't exist anymore pretty much. They wanted to roll back the chain to before the hack, hard fork it, and then that hack would essentially just disappear. But the hilarious thing is this is what I saw. Again, I can't confirm this yet. I think there's still a lot of things to be sorted out. But it looked like North Korea actually took that Ethereum before they could do the rollback and actually converted it into Bitcoin. Which to me is absolutely hilarious. But the other thing about that was that I recently saw today, I think it was, is that the US government, the US Marshals, they have lost track of their Bitcoin. So apparently the US government was supposed to have like 210,000 Bitcoin, but it's all unaccounted for now. They don't know where it went or who has it. So to me, I think we're at a point right now where Bitcoin should be, based on everything, Bitcoin should be at least $1 million right now, in my opinion, because it is not only like comparable to gold. It's not just like a 1-to-1 with gold. It is 10 or 100x from gold. So at a minimum right now, Bitcoin should be $1 million per coin. But if that happened, there'd be a lot more interest in it. There'd be a lot of the average person who's like, holy shit, this thing's ripping. I need to get some. I need to figure out how to get some Bitcoin, which they don't want, because that's going to take away from their, the BlackRock vacuum there, as we call it. So I really think that there's a whole lot of like games happening right now. I think that there's a lot of paper Bitcoin. And so somebody might say, well, the US government, maybe they just lost their keys. Maybe they, somebody got fired. They lost their keys. That Bitcoin's lost now. I don't think that's the case at all. I think between the US government, between a few big corporations, I'm not going to say their names, I think that there's a ton of paper Bitcoin right now. And if people realized how much paper Bitcoin there was compared to the actual amount of Bitcoin, people would have a shit fit about it. And so what I'm trying to say is that if you actually looked at like a ledger and you had 21 million Bitcoin, and everybody who thinks they have Bitcoin right now, they could put their claim right beside it. That's essentially what the Bitcoin network is supposed to be. But when you have big entities like the US government, like these other big corporations, they basically have like 2, 3, 4 people who have a claim to that Bitcoin. And those extra two Bitcoin, essentially, that's paper Bitcoin. That's Bitcoin that doesn't exist. So when people are valuing this, they look at it and say, okay, here's who owns it. Here's how much is left on the exchanges, they say. And so that's kind of how it's valued. But I just think there's so much paper Bitcoin out there right now. And if people actually understood how little Bitcoin was available and how many people actually had claims to all this Bitcoin, I don't know. There's something going on there for sure. There's something going on there. Mr. Yofang, good morning, or not good morning, good evening. Good evening. Dope Collector, look at that name. Good day. Return to nature, just going back to this comment here. I don't know what's happening here, honestly. I don't know what's happening. So the only thing that I would say is like that if you were subscribed to this channel, just make sure that you still are. That's it. Otherwise, who cares? It's just a fucking number. But just make sure that if you were subscribed and you had like notifications on, make sure that you are still subscribed to the channel here. Ever think about posting on the Theta network? No, I haven't. I have before actually, but I haven't thought about it. And keep in mind here, I was actually a very big advocate of the Theta network. Very big. That's what got me into crypto, Theta. I still have some, not very much. I had a lot more before. I started buying Theta when it was like, is it 2 cents or 20 cents? One of the two. It shot up to $16 though. And if I would have sold it or cashed it in for Bitcoin at that time, I would probably have 3x, maybe 4x or 5x the amount of Bitcoin that I had. So I've learned my lesson, I think. But the other thing I would say here with Theta, and this is kind of how I think about Theta and a few other cryptocurrencies, is like I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I'm not. There's the only thing I bought for the last couple of years is Bitcoin. The only thing I really care about is Bitcoin. But I understand that there's going to be more cryptocurrencies that exist and that actually have a utility. But they're not stores of wealth. They're not a good place to store your time, energy, and wealth. So even if Theta were to be around in 10 years from now, and there was an actual use case like streaming, maybe Theta has like the best streaming service that exists, and I want to stream there in 5 years from now. Well, I'm not going to hold Theta tokens and just kind of hope and wait for that to happen. I'm going to store it in Bitcoin. And then when that time comes, if it comes, I can always convert my Bitcoin into that as needed. But I'm not going to get burned. I'm not going to miss what's going to happen here in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the best battery. And I actually haven't heard too many people call it a battery, but that's exactly what it is. If you think about a battery, like think about like the best battery you've ever seen before. Like when I think about batteries, just like at a very average person scale, like everyday use case, like think about a phone, like one of those batteries that you can carry around and it charges your phone and charges other devices. You can pay like a couple $1,000s for one of those, and you can charge it, and it's gonna hold that charge for like the next year. If you don't use it, it's gonna hold that charge for like the next year, maybe 10 years. That's what a good battery does. You put energy into it and it stays there. And you compare that to like a different battery, you could get one of the exact same things on Amazon for like $50. And you plug that in, it charges, but then you leave it in the closet for a while. That will deteriorate over time. There's leaks in that. It's not a very good battery. It does its job, but it's not a very good battery. So that's kind of how I see this. Or even like a AA battery, like you can get a really good Duracell one that lasts a very long time. And if you're not using it, it'll literally last for years. Or you can get like a much cheaper one, like a Amazon brand. So it's like a fraction of the cost, but it dies in a fraction of the time. So I look at Bitcoin as a battery. That's how I think about it. And you put your time and energy into that battery and it stays there. There's no leaks there. And if you have to spend some, of course, or if you have to just like you'd use your battery to charge your phone, if you have to spend some of that energy, it goes away. Obviously, it's not going to just stay there. But what you put into it stays there over time. And that's exactly how I think about Bitcoin. For my time, my energy, and the wealth that I've accrued through the years, I store it in Bitcoin. It's the best battery. And cryptos are not a good battery. The big players are accumulating Bitcoin 100% relentlessly. That's a really good way to do it. And they're actually tricking a lot of people with it. Ricky Bobby, I'm here for the Sunday Bitcoin sermon. I would love to do this every Sunday morning. I think if I ever stopped doing my daily show, I would probably do like a Sunday morning weekly show. Good morning, Jimmy. Not good morning. I keep saying morning, but it is evening. I'm drinking whiskey right now. It is definitely not morning. Ken says corporate real estate firms here in the U.S. are liquidating rental properties right now. Yep. First, Bitcoin's going to overtake gold, and then Bitcoin's going to overtake real estate. Real estate's going to be much harder to crack, but it's going to get there. Santino says, in 1718, when I was new into Bitcoin, I definitely would have said sold based off of FUD. Not buying it today. Billionaire companies are buying 100%. Me too. I would have been fooled as well. So don't feel bad about that. Hey, look at this. LG. I'm from Argentina. Wow. 0.4 Bitcoin. Good for you. That is fucking awesome. Although I would say our number one rule around here is never tell anybody how much Bitcoin you have. But lucky for you, there's probably not anybody watching the stream who would recognize an LG in Argentina. So you're probably safe. But just good practice for the future. Keep that to yourself. Because even though that's $40,000 in America right now, it's going to be much more in the future. And there's something inside the human brain where when they know how much money you make or how much money you have, they will never forget that amount. It triggers something inside of their head that they will never, ever forget that amount that you told them. So just be aware of that. That goes for everybody here. Lazarus Group, allegedly. Okay, so that's who got the Ethereum. I don't know who the Lazarus Group is. Yeah, exactly. Santino says, FUD now validates my conviction for Bitcoin and buy even more. 100%. Me too. Jay, LOL, I don't know what that's about. Could be anything. So the U.S. government doesn't have the Bitcoin or the gold they were supposed to. Yeah. Lots of paper Bitcoin, lots of paper gold. Okay, calm down. You're starting to sound like CZ. No, I'm not trying to say that at all. Like I would never tell somebody to buy crypto instead of Bitcoin, ever. So I would be the closest thing to a Bitcoin maxi without being a Bitcoin maxi. That's what I would say. I understand that there's certain things that Bitcoin can't do, realistically. And I also understand that there's always going to be people who form different communities and people who want to accept different currencies. I'm truly, and I've said this numerous times on the show before, I think that everybody should have freedom of choice. If you want to transact in Doge, and if you want to convert your salary into Doge, go for it. You're going to lose, but it should be up to the person. We could never just have like one currency that everybody's forced to use. That's the other part of it that I actually forgot to mention about church versus school. So, having a YouTube channel, you think of, the guy talking is like a teacher in a classroom. But how I see that, church versus classroom, is that with church, people go there because they want to. People go to school because they're forced to. So I love the fact that Bitcoin is completely voluntary. Anybody can join the network if they want to. It's not forced on anybody. And I think that at that level, it makes sense that there would be other currencies available. Because if there's only one currency and everybody was just using Bitcoin and sats, that doesn't seem like a very free spot to me. So I'm not like saying that, I'm not telling people to buy a currency because it has like some utility or whatever. I would say buy Bitcoin, and that's all I've been buying. But I also understand that people are different. People should have the ability to transact with whatever they want to. And one of the worst things about the fiat dollar is that people are literally forced to use it. That's why it's caused such a path of corruption, is because the people are forced to use it. So I don't mean to sound like CZ by any means, but I mean, that's your opinion, I guess. Tons of paper Bitcoin, exactly. Like what 2.1 Bitcoin on the exchange is your last one? Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's exactly what I'm saying. There's something going on right now, and eventually it'll probably be. It might cause a big crash down because maybe Coinbase doesn't have a fraction of the Bitcoin that they claim to have, and that's going to have a trickle down effect on everything else, including the people who hold their Bitcoin at Coinbase, like MicroStrategy. So that's why I think that we need to really normalize and standardize proof of reserves. If you're like an entity required to report to other individuals, stakeholders, you should be showing proof of reserves, not even a question. That's the only way we're ever going to get rid of the paper Bitcoin. Jay says, it's not a stretch to state that Strategy's Bitcoin are all IOU paper Bitcoin. No proof of reserves, no Bitcoin. I 100% agree with that. And again, I'm not saying that MicroStrategy doesn't, have things in place, but let's just put it this way. Let's say that Coinbase had 1 million coins, 1 million Bitcoin. That's what they're claiming to have. That's what their financial statements have. They're a public company, so they have to report this stuff. But we've also seen public companies like, I don't know, Enron. They were a public company who got audited, and they didn't have the assets that they claim to have. So when you think about it like this, though, if they claim to have 1 million Bitcoin, and MicroStrategy has 200,000 of that or 300,000, I don't know how much to keep at Coinbase, and then another big company has 200,000 or 300,000 Bitcoin there, and then the rest is like a bunch of people who have claims to the rest of the Bitcoin. In that situation, who do you think is getting paid first? Do you think it's MicroStrategy, or do you think it's you, the average person? That's why, even though I don't love the fact that MicroStrategy keeps their Bitcoin, or Strategy now keeps their Bitcoin at Coinbase, I'm pretty certain if something were to happen there and Coinbase actually didn't have all the Bitcoin they claim to, which I know they don't, Strategy would probably be paid out first. So as a shareholder, that makes me feel fairly comfortable. But as somebody who has their Coinbase at Coinbase, or their Bitcoin at Coinbase, you're probably not getting that in the case of people realizing this. So, hey, Sats Venture, Joey. Cheers, man. Mowing grass for SAS today. Keep it up, Joey. Loving the Maple Bitcoin channel. Thanks, Joey. Appreciate that, brother. Let's have another chat sometime soon. Have you been posting videos, Sats Venture? I haven't seen any pop up lately. How's Maple Bitcoin doing right now? I still can't get over that fucking YouTube. Oh, well. It's actually crazy that happened twice today. Not just once. But they're like, you know what? Screw you, man. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Hold on. Let me just bring this up. Completely forgot about here. Zap stream. Hey, Matt's over there zapping a couple sats. The sats for a bonus show tonight for a Sunday night have been embarrassingly low. So thank you, Matt. 10 sats, 10 sats, 10 sats, 30 sats from Matt. This might actually be, I don't know if it's just because it's Sunday and people are kind of depressed, but this is probably the worst turnout we've had in terms of support for the channel. But anyways, I'm getting too mad here. I should just stop looking at YouTube. Maple Bitcoin. We got 894 subscribers over there. Pretty good. So if you're watching this, this is Rajat from Rajat Finance, CFA. Everybody knows Rajat. We got Forrest right here from, can we see that? No, you can't. Forrest on the right side from Bitcoin Not Crypto. Very knowledgeable dude. I love Forrest. Rajat, same thing. We get along very well together. We're like kind of, we're all the same age. We all have kind of the same outlook on the world. And I'm very, very excited about that channel. So just in case you're not yet, make sure you hop over there and subscribe to that. If you want to see it. If you're not going to watch the videos, then obviously don't subscribe. But if you do, if you're interested in that, you can go check it out. Maple Bitcoin. All right. Well, this was supposed to be an hour long. And I will say if this if the sats were coming in a little bit more, we would keep her going here. I see a lot more comments here, but I got to shut her down because I got to eat. But big shout out to Matt. Zapped another 210 sats and said, is there a streaming sats option for this new streaming feature on Fountain? I don't think there is, man. I don't know, though. I just kind of popped onto there by accident one day. I didn't do anything. It just showed up on Fountain. All right, we got another one. We got a sympathy zap here to Arnie's wallet of 88 sats. Anonymous. So thank you for that. All right, we got a couple more. We got a couple more minutes. Old Army radio battery, exactly like that. Frontal Argentina, drinking whiskey. Nice. Nice. This is a great point from Sharper. People forget names, they never forget how much money they have. I don't know what it is. It's something in people's brains that triggers like an emotion where it stores there forever. Bitcoin over ship coins, absolutely, 100%. There's a metric ton of paper claims to gold. That's why they're slowing deliveries on physical gold. Very true. LG says, I told some people that I know about Bitcoin, and now they think it was wrong to say that. Not that they know that I own. No, I'm good with that. The thing I'd say about that is like, I don't think you should ever like stop talking about Bitcoin. You don't have to do that. I think that people really overthink the, green light. Here we go. That's a fat zap. That makes the show tonight a little bit more worth it. 1,500 sats. Anonymous. Again, thank you very much. The one thing I would say on that is like, that's not what I'm trying to say here. And I think a lot of people are like scared to wear like Bitcoin clothes and stuff. Like somebody's just going to see them on the street and fucking hit them over the head and ask for their Bitcoin. That's not what I'm saying. I think that everybody should be very proud that they're Bitcoiners. I think they should be doing everything they can to grow the Bitcoin network. We're all on Team Bitcoin here. And if everybody just hid in their house and never talked about Bitcoin, this thing would go nowhere. It's gotten to this point because people are willing to take their time and energy unpaid and tell everybody how great this fucking asset is. So I'm not advocating for people to stop telling their friends about Bitcoin and talking about it. No, you should be talking more about it actually. And you should be talking about the truth and how bad the fiat system is and how it's basically glorified slavery. It's the truth. But you should never tell anybody how much you have. That's what you have to keep in mind. Talk about it all you want, but never tell anybody how much you have. All right. Bitcoin Maximus. Many of us become Bitcoin Maxis from losing to shitcoins. Exactly. Me being one of those people. I wish I could have skipped that phase, but it's part of the process, I guess. Bob Ross, what time day does Maple Bitcoin go live? So not quite yet. We're about, we're going to start going live at the very start of March. One of the guys has been on vacation for a little while. or he's been busy, whatever he's doing, but he hasn't had time to do any videos or go live. But as soon as he's willing and able, the boys are going to be buzzing on Maple Bitcoin. IG, you lost it in a boating accident. LG, yes, exactly. Good idea. Matt's live in the Fountain app. Attaboy. Attaboy. Return to Nature says, ever think people will build on Bitcoin like they build on ETH? Not memes and games, but important stuff like databases. 100%. Just not there yet. Actually, you know what? We're going to keep her going here for a little while. I want to finish this Caesar. So we'll give it like 5 more minutes here. Did I have anything else to talk about? No. Yeah, one more thing. Sorry, Santino, I tricked you. We're staying for another 10 minutes. We're going to finish this drink. Sharper says, really good, John, in your clip. Oh, job in your clip drawer about the housing price breakdown. Yeah, I thought it was a good video. I talked about housing prices, which most people have seen, but I also talked about like the Masters purse, which is very interesting to me. So essentially what happened there was I looked at the Masters purse, like the Masters golf event every year. And the Masters purse 10 years ago was $1.8 million. That's how much the first place, the Master champion, won. And at the time, I think it was like $6,000. Do I have it here? Hey, Spaceman showed up and zapped 88 sats. Thank you, Spaceman. All right, well, the zaps are coming in better than they were. We were dry. We were starving over here for a while. Let me bring this up again. We got 10 minutes. We'll go through this quickly. This is very interesting to me. Let me just search Masters. There we go. This is crazy. So and I apologize for the people who have seen this already, but it's worth talking about again, I think. It's pretty cool. Pretty good way to look at it. And you could do this with anything. But this is what it was. So Jordan Spieth, I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but he won the 2015 Masters. And for that, he got $1.8 million. The Bitcoin price at the time was $420. So Spieth won 4,200, the equivalent of 4,200 Bitcoin back in 2015. And I put this in the video too. I didn't do this before, but if Spieth would have converted all of his winnings to Bitcoin, he would have got, what is the price even today? He would now be sitting on 406 million. Isn't that crazy? Anyways, 406 million. Spieth, he ended up losing about 405 to Bitcoin there. But anyways, the point is 2025 Masters, 3.6 million, which is double from what it was 10 years ago. It seems like that's a pretty good win, right? It's double the pot 10 years ago. But instead of winning 4,200 Bitcoin, they now win 32 Bitcoin. And that's what happens when you measure things in Bitcoin instead of what happened here? Something weird just happened to the stream. Anyways, we'll keep it rolling. Bangarang, are you tired of winning? No, I never get tired of winning. Last 3 months have been hectic. I'll be back posting soon. Attaboy. Okay, well, keep me in mind if you want me to have another chat. What do I think about Malay? I don't know. I never really got good vibes from that guy. When I saw him, what just happened on the show here? I have no idea what happened. There was like 43 people in here, and then it dropped to 10 in like 10 seconds. Something is really going on with my channel right now. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just not interesting, but something seems off. Yeah, I never really got good vibes from Malay. I'm going to be honest with you. But we'll see. Jimmy says, why would I hang out in a channel where I can't flex about how much Bitcoin I hold? You can do whatever you want, man. I'm just telling, you could put it in, if you want to put how much Bitcoin you have in the chat right now, Jimmy, I'll put it up on screen for you if you want to. I'm not telling you not to. I'm advising you not to. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying you shouldn't. I've been censored millions of times, but never for this. I keep posting my holdings, but the moderators remove it instantly. We don't have any moderators. I'm the moderator. I haven't removed any single comment or chat or anything from you before. So I don't know what where you're going with that, but if you want to share how much Bitcoin you have for the world to see, throw it in the chat. I'll put it on the screen. I'm not telling you you can't. I'm telling you it's a really dumb idea to do that because you're just going to put a very unnecessary target on your back. And Bitcoiners don't need that. Mr. Audio, what do you think about buying Bitcoin with a home equity loan or a line of credit? I feel like most of us with families can barely save anything, and some of us only have our equity to draw from. I love that idea. Truly, there's a lot of people on YouTube who would be afraid to say that, but I don't really care. I think you're stupid if you're not doing that. Truly. Because you have to look at it this way. Let's say you increase your mortgage, you take out some equity, your mortgage goes up, and you're paying, let's say 5-6% on that. That's what you're paying. That's your outflow, 5 or 6% every year. Your inflow, though, because you're holding Bitcoin, has gone up 60% every year on average. You're paying 5%, but you're gaining 60%. So if you're looking day to day or week to week, yeah, it's scary as hell. But if you can get like a mortgage or like a longer term loan to convert into Bitcoin for like 5-10 years, you're going to win that trade, barring something like bananas happening in the world. But you're absolutely going to kill that trade. Jimmy's having a go here. I demand freedom of speech for braggarts. Dope Collector, what's the price we think Bitcoin will never go below again? I'd say 80. If I had to give one number, I would say 80. And that's just because I think that it's going to shoot up here in the next month. I gave a prediction myself of $300,000 Bitcoin by the end of March. So I'm running out of time here. That's why I'm pushing this paper Bitcoin narrative. But I think it's going to really run up and it's going to go really high and scare a lot of people, but then it's going to crash down. But it might even be 90. There's just too much demand. So I think we'll probably see, forever we're going to see big drops. It'll stabilize over time. As the 1% turns into 10% and then 50%, it'll stabilize. But I don't think we're going to see any huge drawdowns. So anyways, the last thing I want to talk about here is proof of work. So that's what Spaceman says, damn, now I want to know what kind of stack Jimmy is squawking about. Well, I gave him the option. Jimmy, just say, this is how much Bitcoin I have. We don't know if you're legit. Actually, you know what? Jimmy, if you want to get crazy here, well, it depends how free of speech you want to be. Tell us how much Bitcoin you have. Show us your Bitcoin address. And then send some Bitcoin out of there. Yeah, he's lying. Called him. Called his bluff. Or he might have it and he's being smart right now. But either way. Do you think all the buy on over-the-counter desks by big institutions will keep the price of Bitcoin down? I think that's part of it, but I also think there's a lot of just like straight up bullshit happening right now. Straight up bullshit. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about before we go here is I'm going to start doing a course. I talked about it at the start of the show, but it's going to be called, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it's going to be called Proof of Work. And kind of the idea there, why I want to call it Proof of Work, is because I see it very similar to proof of stake versus proof of work. And when you really understand the difference between proof of stake and proof of work, this course is going to do the same kind of thing. So to me, the main difference between proof of stake and proof of work is that proof of work, anybody can be a part of. It doesn't matter how much Bitcoin you have. It doesn't care how much money you have. It doesn't care how big of a network you have. It doesn't have to do with any of that. It's very fair. Basically, you plug in a miner, one of these bit axes. Where is it? Right here. And you have, there's no roadblocks there. There's no friction, right? And if you compare that to proof of stake, you need stake in the network for a chance to earn more of a stake in the network. And in that system, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. But I want to take this course and kind of the exploratory roadmap that we're going on here. I want to basically, you can start with anything. You don't have to have like a huge network. You don't have to have a big following. You don't have to have like $50,000 in the bank to blow on marketing. Just like proof of work, where anybody can plug in a miner and participate in the network and have a chance to win Bitcoin. It's going to be the exact same thing with this course. So again, if you compare that to proof of stake, where if we look at Ethereum, which uses proof of stake, in order to have a chance to win the block reward within Ethereum, you have to have like 20 Ethereum, and you have to, and your odds go up based on your stake of the network. To me, that's the main difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum and proof of work and proof of stake, is that proof of work is very fair. It doesn't matter how much you have. It's that you're contributing to it. And so this course is going to be like, it's going to tie in Earl Nightingale. It's going to tie in a few different YouTubers I follow on how to like build a business. It's going to tie in Stoicism. It's going to tie in a whole bunch of these different things and kind of pull it together for proof of work, and understand that it doesn't matter how much you have, but it's about how much you're willing to put into it. And the more you put into it, just like proof of work, the more you're going to get out of it. So that course is going to start on Wednesday, and anybody can join. It's, I think the minimum tier will be 5. You basically have 3 options if you want to be part of this. If you're working like a 9-to-5 job and you want to move to doing something on your own and kind of building your own thing, it's not that you have to quit your job. You can kind of start doing this in the background while you're still working. And this is going to be like a course on how to navigate that and how to really boost that. So you basically have 3 different options for that, and they all involve the Patreon channel. So you can go kind of like bare minimum, $5 a month. You get access to the community, you get access to all the different videos on the channel. Plus you get access to this proof of work course we're going to be going through. Or you can join as a 365. So if you want like a Bitcoin component to it, you're going to have access to like 55 videos in a row, day 0 to day 55, and then beyond for $20 a month. Or if you want like a little bit more hand holding, you can join like there's higher tiers where you can have like a quarterly session with me or a monthly session with me. So all 3 of those tiers are going to get you access to this course. And it was going to be like an 8-week course, but I decided that I'm going to turn it into like a 6-month or beyond course. We're going to break it up into 6 months. We're going to do it for 4 years, hopefully, but we're going to start with 6 months. You got to start somewhere. So it's going to be a pretty good thing, I think. If that's what you're interested in pursuing here, you're going to want to be a part of this. So I want to give just a bit of a heads up for people to join if they want to, because I'll probably forget about it on Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday will be the first show. We don't do shows on the channel anymore on Wednesday. They're all just private, the private side of things. So you're going to have like a private Q&A plus this new proof of work course we're going through. So Jimmy says, I can't talk now. My wife's listening and she's on your side. Oh, man. Jimmy. I've never met a Jimmy I didn't like, so I'm sure that you and I would get, we'd get along. So anyways, first goal work to get to 1 million sats. That a boy. Second job or a garage sale, weather better yard sale. Good call. Jimmy, I don't know if you're drinking more whiskey than me right now, but I have no idea what the hell that means. Proof of work makes free. Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing. We're going to, so I kind of gave some examples of what it's going to be based on, but it's going to be based on like Earl Nightingale. Whoa. It's going to be based on some Bitcoiners. It's going to be based on like Alan Watts, a couple other YouTubers that I follow, and Jocko Willink. Well, is it Jocko Willink? Yeah. His whole thing is like freedom or discipline equals freedom. So that's kind of going to be the two underlying themes of this whole thing is going to be like proof of work and what that means in real life, not in earning Bitcoin, but proof of work and then discipline equals freedom. So the more disciplined you are with your day-to-day stuff, the more freedom you're going to have, which I think is kind of what this entails. I don't know. That's what I got from it, but it's absolutely true. So that's kind of the principles that we're going to be starting with. And it's going to be like an evolution. It's going to be just like a conversation. And I'm really excited for it. I'm very, very excited for it. So it's going to be Bitcoiners only, which is also kind of cool. We'll see what kind of plays out. There's going to be different things that, again, it's going to evolve. So anyways, we're half an hour overtime. We are overworked and underpaid on the show tonight, but that's okay. Every day can't be Friday. I get it. So let's begin wrapping up here. I just want to say thanks, everybody. We're almost at our if YouTube wouldn't be screwing us over right now, we would have hit our goal. So actually, we're going to do the giveaway tomorrow, I guess. And it looks like we're going to have more people entering. So the one thing I would say to that, though, is if you're watching this right now, you're in luck because you would have missed out on the giveaway. So tomorrow morning on the show, we're going to do a giveaway for 8,888 sats. And I probably shouldn't be telling you this because I know that more people are going to comment and then YouTube's going to take away more fucking subscribers from me. But anyways, you can go to that video, you can leave a comment on it, and you're going to be entered to win 8,888 sats on the show tomorrow. So you can go to the channel and you can find the video. It's called You Are Losing to Bitcoin. We had 6 more entries since the show started here. So yeah, exactly. DCA, Fold app, and hey, hopefully that doesn't stand for Ethereum, but it might be Ethan. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt here. We'll say that that's Ethan, but anyways, me neither. But yes, Fold app. The one thing I also was going to say, and I think that everybody should be, if you're watching this now, I want to tell you about something here to round out the show. It's 7 o'clock. I still have to make supper. And it's Sunday night. What the hell are we doing here, Jor? What the hell are we doing? So I want to tell you about this app called Ember. And I should give a couple different shout outs here because there was a guy named BTC Backpacker. And I think actually that's who I used his code, I'm pretty sure. But he was talking about this for a while. And I was like, yeah, it sounds like a scam. And then actually one of the guys I was meeting with, John. So shout out to John because he's the one who convinced me to join this app. But it's called Ember. So you need a referral code to join, I believe. I'll put my Ember code right at the top of the video here. I'll actually do it right now before I forget. But everybody watching the show, make sure you download the app. It's called Ember. You use a referral code. You start sharing it with your friends. And you can earn sats per hour by literally just going into the app once a day and pressing a button. So there's a couple of different things to know about it that I'm going to tell you here in just a sec. But I just want to make sure I have this included in the video here for everybody today. What was that on? That was called Retire at Age 30. That was the one. Okay, so Ember. I don't know if you'll be able to click this or not, but this is the app. It's called Ember. You might not be able to click that, but I'm going to put it at the very top of the show notes here for everybody to go and join after this. It is pretty cool. Like, again, you just go in there once a day, you press start earning Bitcoin, and you literally just mine Bitcoin by going there once a day. And it's actually a significant amount of sats that you can earn if you're doing it properly and you're doing it regularly. But there's one thing that you need to be aware of, and that is that when you earn these sats, They're not withdrawable. But, okay, so that should be in there now. So if you want to go into the show notes after the show and get that code, you should be able to do that now. But you should be able to just go in there once a day. Press start earning Bitcoin, set a reminder in your phone, same time every day. That's what I've been doing. And you go click start earning Bitcoin, and it's just going to mine Bitcoin for you. You just get sats all day, every day. Surprising amount of sats, I'm not going to lie. But the kicker is that they're not withdrawable. So what you have to do is they actually go into a pool called your bonus sats. So that's the sats that you earn from mining. And you actually have to gamble with those sats. So you can bet on like sports games. You can play I play Plinko on there all the time. And you actually have to gamble with those sats. And after you've gambled and won, that's when they become withdrawable. So there's a little bit more to it than just like pressing a button. You still get the sats, but you still have to go and play games to convert them from bonus to withdrawable sats. So that's kind of the only thing that I was unaware of when I first got the app. I was like, what the hell's going on here? I can't withdraw these. But you just have to play games with it. So I just play Plinko. It's pretty fun. If I'm just sitting there watching TV or something, I'll just play Plinko for a while. You end up losing a little bit, but you also turn it into withdrawable sats so you can take out of the app. So that should be right at the top, and Sean says that's clickable. Okay, so that's good. So you can either click it from the chat here, or you can go into the show notes here if you're not watching this video live. So Niall says Amber is a Nostr event signer. No. This is Ember, not Amber. I have Amber too, but this is Ember with an E. And Spaceman. Oh, you made my Sunday here a little bit better, Spaceman. 412 sats from the Spaceman over on Zapstream. Thank you, my friend. Very much appreciate that. So we're going to go eat some supper here. If you learned anything, if you got any sort of value from the show today, you can zap some back. 1 sat, 2 sats, 200,000 sats, whatever you want to do. But I would appreciate that if you want to. Everything in Bitcoin is completely voluntary. Fold card is a game changer. Automatic Bitcoin deposits, DCA roundups on Bitcoin to purchase. Bitcoin on mortgage payments. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. The last sales pitch I would say here, and I'm going to admit this is a sales pitch, but it's worth it. The last sales pitch I would say is that if you are interested in like the proof of work course, you're going to be added to the Living in the Future community. Within that community, you can share referral links. You can get referral links from other people. You can ask questions. You can answer questions. You can buy Bitcoin with other people, sell Bitcoin to other people without going through an exchange. There's a lot of benefits to being in a Bitcoin community. And in my opinion, Living in the Future is by far the best Bitcoin community that exists. And I've been in a couple myself. And I will say that. And I think that if any members of the there we go. Love that. I wish I could zap you for this, man. So we called him out on it. His name was ETH209, and now he's Bitcoin 209. Love that. Okay. Well, even though YouTube's robbing us of subscribers, and even though the zaps have been low, it was a great show tonight. So thanks everybody for being here. Should we eat some supper, buddy? Yeah, I think so. And we'll see you, I guess, in about 12 hours from now. So enjoy your Sunday, everybody. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right.